The first rays of the sun stretch across the village, gently brushing against the wooden shutters of the herbalist's cottage. Outside, the soft murmur of waking life begins to stir. A rooster calls in the distance, the faint rustle of leaves in the morning breeze, and the slow awakening of the nearby forest. The air carries a crisp freshness, tinged with the subtle aroma of dew-covered grass and earth. Still cool from the night, you rise from your simple straw-filled mattress, feeling the faint chill of the early morning on your skin. Stretching slowly, you allow your body to wake gradually, taking in the quiet beauty of the moment before stepping barefoot onto the wooden floor. The cottage is modest, yet warm in its organization. Shelves line the walls, stacked with clay pots, glass jars, and bundles of dried herbs, each carefully labeled and preserved. Lavender, sage, chamomile, and thyme rest in neat arrangements, their faint scents combining into a gentle perfume that immediately grounds the mind and awakens the senses. Sunlight begins to spill across the room, catching dust motes that drift lazily in the golden beams, floating like tiny suspended stars. The wooden table in the center of the room holds the tools of your craft. A sturdy mortar and pestle, small bowls of various sizes, spoons carved from wood, and a few empty vessels ready to hold freshly prepared tinctures and teas. Before beginning any work, you light a small candle near the table, its flame dancing with a quiet life of its own. The flicker illuminates the shelves, casting soft shadows across the walls, and catches the glint of tiny glass jars, making them sparkle ever so slightly in the early morning light. Each object in the room holds a purpose, a place, and a story, and your eyes travel slowly over them, noting the textures and shapes. You inhale deeply, letting the scent of herbs and wax fill your lungs, grounding yourself in the calm and steady rhythm of your daily life. The cottage feels like a sanctuary, a space removed from the hurried world beyond its walls, and each breath you take reinforces a sense of peace and readiness for the work ahead. Your first task is to examine the herbs that will be prepared today. You reach for lavender first, running your fingers over the dried flowers and inhaling their familiar scent. Each tiny bud holds the essence of the plant, delicate and soothing. You gently crush a few in your fingers to awaken the aroma, letting it rise in gentle curls to mingle with the candlelight and the warmth of the morning sun. Next, you turn to chamomile, its tiny blossoms soft and brittle. You handle each carefully, separating the stems from the flowers, appreciating the texture and faintly sweet scent that rises as you work. Sage comes last, its silvery green leaves slightly rough to the touch, their pungent aroma grounding and earthy, a reminder of the practicality and usefulness of this craft. Each herb receives your full attention, every movement deliberate and careful, as though the rhythm of the morning itself flows through your hands. With the herbs chosen, you arrange them on the wooden table, placing them into small bowls according to their intended purpose. Tea, tincture, or salve. You begin with the mortar and pestle, slowly crushing the lavender, watching as the buds break down into fine, delicate fragments. The gentle scratching sound against the stone fills the room, a soft rhythm that blends with the distant morning sounds outside. You move carefully, attentive to the texture, letting the mind settle into the repetition. Chamomile follows, the tiny blossoms breaking apart in quiet, almost musical patterns as they release their soothing fragrance. Sage comes last, its leaves grinding slowly, releasing earthy, herbal notes that seem to settle around you, grounding your senses and reinforcing the calm of the space. The process of preparing herbs is meditative. Each motion is precise, measured, and deliberate. Your hands move rhythmically, crushing, grinding, and separating. The aroma rises steadily, combining into a calming, layered fragrance that fills the room. You pause occasionally to inhale the scents deeply, letting them permeate both body and mind, reinforcing a state of mindfulness and stillness. Outside, the village begins to awaken more fully. Yet inside your cottage, time seems suspended, moving only as you allow it to, governed by the quiet rituals of your morning. After the herbs are crushed and measured, you move to prepare teas. Water is poured carefully into a clay pot, and it begins to warm over the small flame of the hearth. The first steam curls upward, carrying the gentle scent of warmth and water. Chamomile and lavender are added slowly, each leaf falling into the pot with a quiet plop, releasing their aromas into the rising steam. You stir gently, watching the swirling patterns of color and movement, allowing the soft hiss of heat and the occasional bubbling to fill the silent space with subtle life. The aroma envelops you, grounding the mind and creating an almost hypnotic calm. Next, you prepare tinctures. Small jars are selected, carefully cleaned, and positioned on the table. Over crushed herbs, you pour a neutral liquid, letting it seep slowly into the plant matter, absorbing its essence. Each movement is deliberate, measured, and gentle. You pause to observe the colors and textures, noticing how the liquid changes subtly as it mingles with the herbs. A faint glow of sunlight through the window highlights the details, and your focus on this quiet activity allows your mind to settle fully into the rhythm of the day. Each small action feels purposeful and meditative, a reminder that even simple work can carry a profound sense of peace. By mid-morning, you step outside to tend to the small garden beside your cottage. The earth is cool beneath your feet, and the faint scent of dew and soil rises as you move among the plants. Lavender sways gently in the breeze. Rosemary stands tall, and thyme spreads across the soil in a fine green carpet. You move deliberately among them, checking their growth, trimming carefully, and watering as needed. The sunlight gradually strengthens, warming the soil and illuminating the subtle beauty of each plant. Birds call softly from the nearby trees, their melodies gentle and unhurried, blending with the faint murmur of a distant brook. Every movement is intentional and slow, allowing your body and mind to sync with the natural rhythms surrounding you. You pause occasionally, kneeling in the soil to feel its texture, noticing the difference in moisture and temperature in each patch. Your hands brush gently over leaves and flowers, appreciating their intricate forms and the way the sunlight catches them. The garden is alive yet tranquil, filled with subtle motion and quiet beauty. You inhale the mixture of scents, the earthy smell of soil, the freshness of leaves, and the delicate fragrances of blossoms. Each breath reinforces a sense of mindfulness, grounding your attention in the simple, meditative tasks at hand. As the morning passes, you return indoors, bringing with you small bundles of herbs ready for drying. The fire in the hearth has settled into a gentle glow, and the candle flickers softly as you position the bundles on hooks and shelves. Each one is arranged carefully, ensuring that airflow and sunlight, filtered through the window, will help preserve their essence. You step back, observing the collection of herbs and their quiet display, appreciating the balance of light, color, and texture that surrounds you. The room feels alive yet calm, a sanctuary of quiet activity and gentle purpose. With the day's initial work complete, you prepare a small breakfast. A simple loaf of bread, fresh butter, and a cup of the morning tea you prepared are placed before you. Each bite is slow and mindful, each sip a continuation of the peaceful rhythm of the morning. The scents and flavors reinforce the calm, and the warmth of the tea spreads through you, carrying a sense of contentment and tranquility. Outside, the village hums softly with early activity, yet inside your cottage, time flows according to the gentle cadence of your own routines. The combination of preparation, work, and reflection allows the mind to remain soft and unhurried, ready for the next tasks of the day. After breakfast, you spend a few moments reflecting on the day's work, The herbs, the garden, the teas and tinctures. Each task has been completed with care, intention, and mindfulness. You breathe slowly, allowing your senses to absorb the tranquility of the space. Dust motes float in the sunlight. The gentle sway of hanging herbs creates soft motion, and the quiet rhythm of the cottage envelops you. Each detail is observed fully, with gentle awareness, reinforcing a state of calm and presence. The day has begun, yet the pace is measured, unhurried, and deeply peaceful. Now, you return to the work table, arranging herbs for further processing. You grind a few more small batches, noting subtle differences in texture and color. The motions are repetitive yet hypnotic, each movement a meditation in itself. Occasionally, you pause to inhale the aroma of a particularly fragrant herb, letting it fill your senses and carry the mind into quiet reflection. Outside, the sun continues its slow arc across the sky, casting light and shadow across the room in a gentle, ever-changing pattern. Inside, the candle flickers in harmony with the rhythm of your hands, the mortar and pestle, and the quiet breath of the morning. You rise from your small breakfast space and make your way to the garden, where the herbs and plants have been carefully tended over many seasons. The air is alive with subtle sounds, the whisper of leaves in the breeze, the distant call of a morning bird, and the soft rustle of insects moving quietly among the flowers. Each step you take along the soft, well-worn paths is deliberate and unhurried, connecting you to the earth beneath your feet and the rhythm of the natural world around you. You pause at the edge of the herb garden, inhaling the layered scents that mingle in the morning air. The sweet, calming aroma of chamomile, the pungent earthiness of sage, the floral notes of lavender. Each plant greets you with subtle movement as the breeze brushes past its leaves. A gentle nod in recognition of your care. You kneel among the plants, feeling the cool, rich soil beneath your fingers, and take a moment to run your hands gently over each stem and leaf. This tactile connection grounds your mind and reinforces the quiet focus necessary for your work. The first task of the day is harvesting. You move slowly along the rows, selecting leaves and flowers that are mature and fragrant, brushing past younger growth that will be saved for later. Each cut is precise and careful, leaving the plant healthy and vibrant. Lavender buds are clipped gently, filling your hands with soft, fragrant clusters. Chamomile flowers are picked with delicate attention, their tiny petals resting softly in your palms. Sage leaves, slightly rough to the touch, are gathered with care, each selection measured and intentional. With every movement, your mind remains present, aware of the subtle sounds, scents, and textures of the garden. As you harvest, you notice the subtle interplay of light and shadow across the garden. Sunlight glints off dewdrops still clinging to early morning leaves, creating tiny, fleeting rainbows. A gentle wind stirs, carrying the faint scent of distant blossoms and the earthy aroma of the soil. Birds flit from branch to branch, singing quietly, adding a natural soundtrack to the day. The garden feels alive yet serene, sanctuary of calm where every sensory detail can be observed and appreciated. After collecting a sufficient bundle of herbs, you carry them carefully back to the cottage, placing each type in its designated area on the wooden table. The sunlight streams through the window, illuminating the textures and colors of the plants, making the green of sage, the pale yellow of chamomile, and the deep purple of lavender glow softly in the morning light. You pause to arrange the herbs neatly, noting the subtle differences in each leaf and flower, appreciating their individual qualities. The act of arranging, sorting, and observing is soothing, meditative, and grounding, allowing your mind to settle fully into the rhythm of the day. Next, you turn your attention to processing the herbs. You select a handful of lavender and place it into the mortar, feeling its soft buds against the cool stone. With steady, rhythmic motions, you begin to grind the buds into finer fragments. The gentle scratching sound of stone against herb fills the quiet room. A soft, hypnotic rhythm that complements the warmth of the sunlight and the faint rustle of the leaves outside. The scent of lavender intensifies as it is broken down, filling the air with its calming fragrance. Each rotation of the pestle is deliberate and precise, reinforcing a sense of purpose and mindfulness. Chamomile is next. Tiny blossoms are crushed gently, releasing a delicate, sweet aroma that mixes with the lingering lavender scent. You handle each flower with care, noting the texture, the color, and the subtle differences from one blossom to another. The motions are repetitive yet comforting, each movement reinforcing the tranquility of the space and the slow, measured pace of your work. Sage leaves follow, slightly rougher in texture, their earthy scent grounding and steadying. The repeated motions of grinding and observing provide a hypnotic rhythm, a gentle cadence that calms the mind and senses alike. With the herbs ground and sorted, you move on to the preparation of teas. Warm water is poured into a clay pot and set gently on the small flame of the hearth. Steam rises, carrying the fragrant scents of your carefully selected herbs. Lavender and chamomile are added first, followed by a few small leaves of sage. The spoon moves slowly through the mixture, stirring in quiet circles. The colors of the herbs shift subtly in the water, their essence blending together, and the soft hiss of heat adds another layer to the calming soundtrack of the cottage. You pause occasionally to inhale deeply, letting the aroma fill your senses and reinforce the meditative rhythm of the work. As the teas steep, you focus on preparing tinctures. Small jars are lined carefully along the table, each cleaned and ready to receive the herbal essence. Crushed herbs are placed within, and a neutral liquid is poured over them, allowing it to absorb the natural qualities of the plants. You watch as the liquid changes color slightly, slowly taking on the essence of the herbs. The motion is slow and intentional, each pour precise, each observation measured. The ambient sunlight through the window highlights the fine details of the process. From the shimmer of glass to the subtle movement of the liquid, your attention remains fully present, immersed in the gentle rhythm of the work. Occasionally, you pause to observe the world outside. The village hums softly with life. The distant footsteps of neighbors, the gentle clatter of a cart along the cobblestones, the soft song of a bird perched on a tree. The breeze moves through the cottage, carrying faint scents of flowers and fresh herbs from the garden. Each detail is observed and appreciated, adding layers to the calm, immersive experience of the day. Your mind remains quiet, absorbed in the gentle interplay of sensory stimuli and deliberate, mindful action. As midday approaches, you take a small break. A slice of bread, a modest piece of cheese, and a sip of the tea you prepared earlier provide sustenance. Each bite is taken slowly, mindfully, allowing the flavors to mingle on the tongue. The warmth of the tea spreads through your body, reinforcing a feeling of calm and contentment. You observe the sunlight shifting across the cottage floor, illuminating small details. A jar of dried rosemary, a bunch of thyme hanging from a hook, the gentle sway of a curtain in the soft breeze. These details, though subtle, are grounding, anchoring you fully in the present moment. Refreshed, you return to the herbs. The next task is sorting and labeling for the day's work. Lavender is bundled into small groups, tied carefully with twine. Chamomile is portioned into delicate sachets, and sage is arranged neatly in clay pots. Each motion is deliberate and precise. You pay attention to the textures, the colors, and the subtle fragrances, ensuring that each bundle or container is uniform and orderly. The act of organizing reinforces a sense of calm, purpose, and mastery over the space. The sunlight continues to filter through the window, casting gentle patterns of light and shadow across the work table. Next, you tend to drying herbs. Freshly harvested leaves are spread on woven mats, arranged to allow for airflow and optimal exposure to sunlight. The process is meticulous yet soothing. Each leaf and flower is placed with care, the bundles separated to avoid overlapping, the edges adjusted for uniformity. You move slowly, listening to the soft rustle of the leaves, the faint creak of the wooden floorboards, and the gentle hum of nature outside. The combination of tactile attention and sensory observation draws the mind into a focused, calm state, preparing it for the afternoon work ahead. With the garden, teas, tinctures, and drying herbs attended to, you spend a few moments reflecting on the harmony of the morning. The room is quiet, yet alive with subtle motion. Dust motes drifting lazily in the sunlight, herbs swaying gently in a faint breeze, shadows dancing across the walls. The repeated motions of the day, from harvesting to grinding to preparing teas, have established a gentle rhythm, grounding the mind and filling the senses with layered sensory detail. Each moment feels deliberate, peaceful, and connected to the natural world. Before moving to the afternoon, you perform a brief inventory of your supplies. Jars are inspected, tools cleaned, and everything returned to its place. The space is tidy, orderly, and calm, a reflection of the attention and care you pour into every aspect of your craft. The sounds of the village outside remain distant, unobtrusive, and soothing. The rhythm of work, observation, and reflection has created a space of quiet immersion, where time flows slowly and peacefully, each action reinforcing mindfulness, presence, and calm. As the sun dips lower, the cottage glows with a soft golden light. Shadows stretch across the floor, dancing gently with the flicker of candle flames and the dying embers of the hearth. The air carries the cooling scent of herbs, faint smoke, and the earthiness of soil from the day's garden work. You step inside, carrying small bundles of freshly picked herbs. Each step is deliberate, grounding you in the rhythm of the day as it winds down toward evening. Your first task is to prepare the herbs for drying and storage. Lavender is tied into small, neat bundles. Chamomile is spread evenly on woven mats, and sage is carefully placed in clay pots. Each motion is slow and intentional, repeated with care, reinforcing mindfulness and tranquility. The room feels alive yet calm, a sanctuary of gentle activity at the close of the day. Next, you return to the hearth to prepare the evening teas and tinctures. Warm water is poured into a clay pot over the gentle flame. Lavender, chamomile, and a few leaves of sage are added, each dropping softly into the water. You stir in wide, slow circles, watching the herbs swirl and release their fragrance. Steam rises, carrying the soothing aroma throughout the room. The gentle crackle of the hearth blends with this scent, creating a meditative atmosphere. You inhale deeply, allowing the aromas to fill your senses, settling the mind and reinforcing the calm rhythm of the evening. While the teas steep, you pause to observe the cottage. The sunlight has faded completely, replaced by candlelight and the silver shimmer of moonlight. Shadows move across the shelves of jars and dried herbs, creating patterns that shift gently with the flickering flames. Outside, the village grows quiet. The distant call of an owl, the rustle of leaves, and the soft whisper of a breeze through the trees provide a natural soundtrack for reflection. You breathe slowly, letting the calm of the room and the world outside merge into a single feeling of peace. The teas are poured, and you sip slowly, letting warmth and flavor spread through your body. Each swallow is deliberate, mindful, and calming. You notice the movement of the liquid, the delicate aromas rising, and the gentle heat that settles gradually into your chest. Each sip reinforces presence and tranquility, grounding you fully in the quiet of the evening. Candlelight flickers softly across the walls, casting long, gentle shadows and creating an environment perfectly suited for calm reflection. Attention returns to the tinctures. Jars are carefully sealed and labeled, then arranged neatly on their shelf. The repetition of this simple task is soothing. One jar after another, each motion deliberate, steady and unhurried. You inhale the subtle aromas, allowing the sense of earth, herbs and warmth to fill your mind and calm your senses. The room is quiet, orderly and comforting, a reflection of the care and attention that defines the day's work. With the work area tidied, you turn to your personal evening routine. Water is drawn for a gentle wash, refreshing both body and mind. Each movement is slow and mindful. Hands and face are cleansed, muscles relaxed, and the skin soothed. You change into soft garments, feeling the gentle embrace of cloth against your skin. Every sensation is observed. The warmth of the water, the softness of the fabric, the faint scent of herbs in the air. Mind and body are prepared for rest. Returning to the main room, you light a final candle. The fire in the hearth has dimmed to glowing embers, providing a gentle warmth that spreads through the cottage. You sit quietly for a few moments, sipping the last of your herbal tea. The warmth of the drink, combined with the calm ambience, signals the conclusion of the day's work. Shadows dance softly across shelves of jars and hanging herbs, the flickering light adding subtle motion to the otherwise still space. You take a final walk through the cottage, checking the drying herbs, inspecting jars, and ensuring that tools are neatly arranged. A gentle breeze drifts through the open window, brushing the curtains and carrying faint scents from the garden outside. You pause at the window to observe the moon rising above the village rooftops, silver light illuminating the sleeping streets and casting a gentle glow over the fields. The quiet of the night deepens, a natural counterpart to the calm and order inside the cottage. Preparation for bed begins. A soft mattress and blankets are arranged, each layer providing comfort and warmth. You settle beneath them, feeling the weight and softness of the blankets as they envelop you. The candle flickers low. The last embers of the hearth glow faintly, and the scents of herbs linger softly in the air. Each detail, sight, sound, touch, and smell, reinforces the sensation of calm, guiding you gently toward rest. Lying quietly, you reflect on the day. The garden tended, the herbs prepared, teas brewed and tinctures arranged, all work complete with care and mindfulness. Outside, the village sleeps, the trees sway softly, and a distant stream murmurs quietly. Each sound and sensation blends into a lullaby of gentle calm, a final meditation on the day's rhythm and the natural world surrounding you. Finally, your eyes close. Breathing slows, steady and rhythmic. Awareness narrows to the soft sensations of the room. The flickering candle, the gentle warmth of the blankets, the faint aroma of herbs. Your mind drifts, thoughts fade, and the peaceful presence of night enfolds you. The day is complete, the cottage is calm, and the world outside is still. Sleep arrives gradually, naturally and completely. All is quiet, all is gentle, all is well.